Welcome to this channel. If you are new, kindly subscribe, like, share, comment, and click on the notification bell for latest news vibes. Washington. The House January 6 Select Committee has released its long-awaited final report, detailing former President Donald Trump's attempted coup to remain in power despite losing his election and recommendations to prevent such a thing from happening again. The material provides the backup to the conclusions outlined in the report's executive summary on Monday, following the panel's final meeting. Those, in turn, were largely a recap of findings already released, largely in a series of public presentations this summer. These included both live, sworn testimony by witnesses in the Cannon caucus room, as well as dozens of snippets of videotaped depositions. Almost all of it was from Republicans, including those who worked directly for Trump and then Vice President Mike Pence in those weeks between Trump's election loss to Democrat Joe Biden and his attempt to award himself a second term. Nevertheless, on the date of Congress's ceremonial counting of the electoral votes, the 161-page summary laid out the justification for the criminal charges against Trump and others that the committee voted to refer to the Department of Justice and some additional details regarding the witness tampering allegations the committee alluded to previously. The summary also contained a previously unstated finding that Pentagon officials were reluctant to deploy the military on January 6, 2021. Because they feared Trump would issue an illegal order in an attempt to use troops in his coup attempt. The 8-chapter final report, committee member Republican Jamie Raskin said, will have two basic elements. The report is half about the past and what we've just studied, and what needs to be done to protect ourselves against similar cycles of coup, insurrection, electoral sabotage and political violence, the Maryland Democrat told reporters recently. These are the forces that have now been unleashed. The committee was facing an end-of-year deadline to finish its work. 4 of the 9 members are not returning to Congress. Illinois Republican Adam Kinzinger and Florida Democrat Stephanie Murphy chose not to seek re-election. Vice Chair Liz Cheney, a Wyoming Republican, was defeated by a Trump-backed challenger in her primary. And Virginia Democrat Elaine Luria was ousted by a Republican in the November midterms. Additionally, Republicans are set to take control of the chamber on January 3, and the panel will almost certainly not be allowed to continue. The committee was created in late spring 2021 after Trump's supporters in Congress, including House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy, killed an attempt to create a bipartisan independent commission to investigate January 6. Nancy Pelosi, the chamber's Democratic speaker, then pushed through a resolution creating a House Select Committee to investigate January 6. She then vetoed some of McCarthy's picks for the panel who had worked with Trump to overturn Biden's victory, and McCarthy responded by boycotting the committee altogether. Pelosi then appointed Kinzinger and Cheney, allowing it to remain bipartisan. Many Republicans, including McCarthy, have nevertheless called the committee illegitimate, and McCarthy told committee chairman Benny Thompson to preserve all its documents and interviews so that Republicans in the new Congress could investigate the investigation. Thompson, a Mississippi Democrat, said he had no problem with that since the committee intended to release all its material, with perhaps only the names of certain witnesses redacted. Not just preserved but made available to the public, Thompson said. So, the subpoena I signed for him to come and testify before the committee will be part of the record. McCarthy, who was in contact with Trump on January 6, like other GOP lawmakers, refused to honor committee subpoena. The Department of Justice is investigating Trump for his role in the January 6 attack, including the scheme to submit to the National Archives fraudulent slates of electors from states that voted for Democrat Joe Biden as a way to pressure Pence into awarding Trump a second term. A separate probe is investigating Trump's removal of highly classified documents from the White House and subsequent refusal to hand them over, even in defiance of a subpoena. In addition to the federal criminal investigations, a Georgia prosecutor is looking at Trump's and his allies' attempts to coerce state officials into falsely declaring him the winner in that state. Trump, despite losing the election by 7 million votes nationally and 306,232 in the Electoral College, became the first president in more than 2 centuries of elections to refuse to hand over power peacefully. His incitement of the January 6 assault on the Capitol, his last-ditch attempt to remain in office, led to the deaths of 5 people, including 1 police officer, the injury of 140 officers and 4 police suicides. At rallies and in statements on his personal social media platform, Trump has continued to lie about the election and the January 6 House Select Committee's work, calling it a hoax similar to previous investigations into his 2016 campaign's acceptance of Russian assistance and his attempted extortion of Ukraine into helping his 2020 campaign. Thanks for watching this video.